Hello player, today we will analyze the match between M. Carlsen with the white pieces and Hi Nakamura with the black pieces. d4. Knight f6. c4. g6. Knight c3. Bishop g7. e4. d6. Knight f3. Kingside castling. h3. e5. d5. f5. Bishop e3. Knight a6. g4. Knight d7. Knight d2. This move was inaccurate, the best move was a3. For example, a3. Knight b6. Rook g1. With an advantage for white. Knight d2. Knight from d, c5. Rook g1. King h8. a3. Bishop d7. Queen c2. c6. Queenside castling. c. Captures on d5. c. Captures on d5. The evaluation became -1.4, this move was a mistake, the best move was knight captures on d5. For example, knight captures on d5. Bishop a4. b3. Bishop c6. King b1. With a balanced game. c. Captures on d5. Rook c8. The evaluation became 0.2, this was a serious mistake, the best move was knight b4. For example, knight b4. Queen b1. Queen c7. Rook e1. f5. King d1. f4. Bishop captures on c5. Queen captures on c5. a. Captures on b4. a. Captures on b4. Knight a2. Queen captures on f2. With a decisive advantage for black. Rook c8. King b1. f4. h4. f5. The evaluation became 1.5, this was a serious mistake, the best move was queen a5. For example, queen a5. h5. b5. h6. Bishop f6. g5. Bishop e7. f4. e. Captures on f4. With a balanced game. f5. h5. f4. Bishop captures on c5. Knight captures on c5. h. Captures on g6. h. Captures on g6. g5. Rook f7. Bishop b5. King g8. Bishop captures on d7. Queen captures on d7. Knight c4. Queen d8. Knight b5. Bishop f8. Rook h1. Queen d7. The evaluation became 2.4, this was a serious mistake, the best move was f3. For example, f3. Rook h3. Knight b3. Queen d3. Rook c5. Knight c3. Rook from c, c7. With an advantage for white. Queen d7. Knight c3. Rook c7. Knight b6. Queen e8. f3. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight captures on a4. For example, knight from b, captures on a4. Knight captures on a4. Queen captures on a4. Queen captures on a4. Knight captures on a4. Rook h7. Rook captures on h7. Rook captures on h7. Knight b6. Rook h2. Rook f1. Bishop e7. f3. With a decisive advantage for white. f3. Knight b3. Knight from b, captures on a4. The evaluation became -1.1, this move was a mistake, the best move was queen d3. For example, queen d3. Knight d4. Knight e2. Knight b3. Knight c3. Knight d4. King a2. With an advantage for white. Knight from b, captures on a4. Knight d4. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight d4. For example, knight d4. Queen g2. b5. Knight b6. Rook b7. Rook h4. Rook captures on b6. Rook from d, h1. Bishop g7. Knight e2. Rook f8. Knight captures on d4. E, captures on d4. Queen h3. Rook b7. Rook h8 check. King f7. Rook h7. Rook g8. Rook d1. Rook h8. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight d4. Queen h2. This move was inaccurate, the best move was queen f2. For example, queen f2. b5. Knight b6. Queen b8. f4. b4. Rook captures on d4. Queen captures on b6. Rook d2. Queen captures on f2. Rook captures on f2. B, captures on c3. Rook from f, h2. Bishop g7. b3. Rook f8. King c2. With an advantage for black. Queen h2. Rook h7. Queen f2. b5. Rook captures on h7. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight b6. For example, knight b6. Queen b8. f4. Queen captures on b6. Knight captures on b5. Rook b7. Rook captures on h7. Rook captures on h7. Queen f1. Knight b3. King a2. With a decisive advantage for black. Rook captures on h7. Rook captures on h7. Knight b6. Queen d8. Knight captures on b5. Knight captures on b5. Knight c4. Knight d4. Queen g2. Rook c7. Rook c1. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight a5. For example, knight a5. Rook c2. Queen h3. Queen c8. Rook h1. Queen captures on h3. Rook captures on h3. Rook g2. f4. Rook g3. Rook h1. Knight captures on f3. Knight c4. With a decisive advantage for black. Rook c1. Queen c8. Queen f1. Knight b3. This move was inaccurate, the best move was knight captures on f3. For example, knight captures on f3. Queen captures on f3. Rook captures on c4. Rook h1. Rook c7. f4. Rook c4. With a decisive advantage for black. Knight b3. Rook c3. Knight d4. King a2. Queen a6. Queen d3. Queen a7. Knight d2. Bishop e7. Rook captures on c7. Queen captures on c7. Knight b3. Queen c2. Queen captures on c2. Knight captures on c2. Knight a5. Bishop captures on g5. Knight c6. King f7. f4. Bishop h4. This move gives back part of the advantage. The best move was king e8. For example, king e8. f5. Bishop d8. King b3. Knight e1. King a4. Knight captures on f3. With a decisive advantage for black. Bishop h4. f5. Bishop f2. b4. King e8. This move was inaccurate. The best move was knight d4. For example, knight d4. b5. King e8. King a3. Knight captures on b5 check. With a decisive advantage for black. King e8. b5. The evaluation became -4.9. This move was a mistake. The best move was b5. For example, b5. Knight d4. b6. With a decisive advantage for black. b5. King d7. b6. King c8. This move gives back part of the advantage. The best move was knight d4. For example, knight d4. Knight e7. Knight captures on f3. Knight g8. Bishop c5. Knight f6 check. King c8. With a decisive advantage for black. King c8. King b3. Knight d4 check. King c4. King b7. Knight d8 check. King a6. This move gives back part of the advantage. The best move was king a6. For example, king a6. Knight f7. Knight captures on f3. Knight captures on d6. Knight g5. King d3. Bishop c5. Knight c4. f3. Knight d2. Bishop b4. With a decisive advantage for black. King a6. b7. King a7. a6. g5. The evaluation became 0.0. This was a serious mistake. The best move was bishop h4. For example, bishop h4. Knight f7. Bishop e7. Knight h8. Knight captures on f3. With a decisive advantage for black. g5. Knight f7. Bishop h4. Knight captures on d6. g4. Knight c8 check. King b8. Knight b6. White's victory. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your suggestions.